Okay, let's get this party started. A little bit of excitement going on, new adventure for myself, all because of Jenny, who was my client and friend. And now she's introduced me. Well, I can't say you introduced me. I'm going to say Spirit introduced me
Yeah.
to this wonderful, absolutely amazing unit called the Healy. And so Jenny and I are just going to have a little conversation and talk about very quickly how it all unfolded, mostly for me, because it's been in Jenny's field for what, the last
Year and a half.
2 years,
Year
a
and a
year
half.
and a half for you. Okay, so just going to backtrack very quickly for those of you who are listening and watching. And that is, I came about the Healy. Um, I had met Jenny as a client, what, 3 years ago,
Oh
something
gosh.
like that,
My daughter was like 2, so like probably 6 years ago.
about 6 years ago, and then came back to Canada because you're now living in Mexico. Came back to Canada while she was visiting here. She decided she just wanted to have a session with Helen. And so before she arrived at my door, I was nudged, you know me and my nudges. I was nudged to take a look at this bookshelf that I have of books. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And I was nudged to go towards this book. So I'm going to bring the book out. This is the book. Okay. I forgot I had this book, hadn't even opened it, haven't even read it. And I discovered this book when I, about 3 years ago, went and did a last minute drive to Virginia Beach. Did not know that there was the Edgar Cayce Center. That's where I ended up, where I got this book. And we all know who Edgar Cayce is, the sleeping prophet. Anyway, long story short, this is the book. And while I'm holding it, all I can hear is, you'll be talking about this or something about this is for your client to come. And I'm like, what? Okay, whatever. And I'm like, no, there's something about this. She's going to teach me something. I don't know what. I don't know what. I have no idea. Walks in the door, and I'm like, Jenny, I don't know what's going on with you, but you're going to teach me something. There's something you're going to show me or teach me. And we left it at that. Jumped into her session. Was it a connection with your grandmother or something? I can't even remember what your reading was.
I can't remember what initially it was myself and Holly, my girlfriend Holly, that we
Yeah.
were there. And I remember you just being like, I already got a nudge to pull out a book, and you put the book on the table and it said aura and colors. And I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't say
And you
anything.
look at Holly.
And I
You
looked
two
at
looked at each other like,
and I
oh,
hadn't been on social media yet about Healy, and I because I was with another company at the time. Anyways, long story. So it's not like you knew what I was up to. And I looked
nope.
at Holly, and I could tell Holly knew, knew what. And you said, I have no idea why that's here, but I was nudged to pull it out and put it on this table. So I'm just going to leave it there. I'm sure Spirit will, guide this. And then we were in the session, and then you said something about, I feel like you're about to take a different path with your career, which at that moment, I was at the precipice of making the decision to go 100% all in with this business because my business was booming, but I was building it behind the scenes. And
Ah,
you kind of said, I'm getting this feeling that you're going to be going in a new direction and it has something to do with, and then you looked at the book and you said, why do I feel like it has something to do with this book? And I said, and then I went into my purse and I pulled out the device and I said, so this is a frequency technology device that actually scans your auras, chakra centers, and your aura, and it scans your bioenergetic field, and it works with the quantum field and the information field. And then that's when everything, you're like, okay. Now this all makes sense.
Spirit has led you to me because, first of all, I love anything that's got to do with Nikola Tesla, frequencies, vibrations. That's what I'm all about. So when you started talking about the history of it, I was just like, it was like my whole body was doing one of these. And like, okay, obviously there's something here for me, whatever. And then you took it out, did the scan on me, saw my chakras after doing a reading. And it's like, it totally makes sense where I was at. And basically, I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, right? That was
Yeah.
my thing was, is this for just me personally? But then because you were testing it and doing it and showing it to me, I'm like, oh, so can I do this with clients? And then that's where it took off. It just went from there. So
Yeah.
So
And
just gotta thank the universe for setting that one up for us.
I even remember you had a client that you did the chakra opening program before, and all of these things were flowing through. Because at the beginning, you kind of did just bring it in for you. You said, you know what? Let me try this. Let me see how this works. Let me see how it works with clients. I'm gonna play. And you played for 2 or 3 months, maybe even 4 months. You were like, I just want to play. I just want to play. I just want to play. And then you were getting such powerful testimonials and such all these things were happening, and you were using your psychic abilities, your channeling
Yeah.
abilities, like everything became enhanced, and you were being able to connect, like you were creating this tunnel between you and the client from distance, and even in person, and everything just started becoming enhanced. And I remember you just being like, okay, there's no way I can't merge this, because now I just know that this is even enhancing everything I've
It's
already
just,
been doing
yeah.
myself. Now we're using the information field, the collective consciousness, to even expand this even more, which then of course, you've got people who don't have your abilities, like your psychic abilities, people who don't, not that they don't have them, but they've never practiced, they've never opened
Thank
it.
you. Thank you for fixing
let,
that one.
let me pivot that. Let me reframe that. But now you're giving the average person who, maybe has never practiced or even been in tune with their ability to connect to that collective consciousness, is now able to use this small but mighty quantum physic device. Small but
Yep.
mighty.
Yep.
Really, like, so it's powerful.
It is powerful. And one thing too that I didn't know, even when I bought the product, was that I didn't know. By the way, we did say it's called the HEALY, right? Did I say that at the beginning? Just
Yes.
backtracking. I'm still kind of buzzing. I just came off of 2 clients, so I'm like to jump on here. And so, but I didn't know for the longest time that I could. It didn't cross my mind that I could actually use the program with the chakras, of using it for the crown chakra, connecting to the consciousness. And I love how you say how spirituality meets science, right? And so that part, and so right now, I just checked my chakras just before coming on. It's like, okay, where am I low? What do I need? And it kind of makes sense. But right now, it's my heart chakra, right? So it's just like, and where I'm at right now, on a personal level, okay, well, that makes sense. But coming on here, I'm like, okay, what do I want to enhance for this video right here, for this podcast? And that is the throat chakra, communication, speaking clearly. So that's the program I have running right now, is the throat chakra. What have you got going on?
I am running right now under so there's 28 program groups and over 300 programs. So there's really something for everything.
Yep.
So I'm in the program group job, and then I put on the program activation. So right now I feel, we're kind of in a conversation around this tool, and I thought, this would be some amazing frequencies to be depositing into my field during this conversation. And I don't know if it's helpful, maybe even just to back it up, and we can talk a little bit about what this little tiny device
Yeah.
is. I mean,
You're more of an expert on it. You're the one that introduced it to me. So I'm going to hand it over to you now on
okay.
that part.
So as you can see, we're wearing these teeny tiny little devices. And I say teeny tiny because if you're familiar with frequency technology at all, if you are familiar with it, you would probably note that most frequency technology machines are machines, and they're big and they're
Yes.
clunky, and they require loads of extensive training, and they're not small, wearable, portable devices. So this little device was actually invented by Marcus Schmieke out of Germany. He's a quantum physicist who had actually developed a $100,000 machine called the Time Waver, which he used with practitioners. He's trained about 2,500 practitioners, and he had this really deep desire to learn beyond just the quantum physics realm, just beyond this level. And he wanted to merge more into consciousness, where he could start learning about the fifth and sixth dimensions, and where traumas are stored and experiences are stored. And so he actually went to India, where he became a professor there, and then became a monk for 12 years. And
I love it.
a monk, and he fully immersed himself into that world. And this is where we really say science meets spirituality. And the goal with the HEALY, when he invented the HEALY, was to bridge matter and consciousness, was to bridge the human body, physical human body, with all aspects of the human experience. And so coded into this little device was his original goal was to be able to bring 100 million Healys into homes, but his method was he would go speak to doctors and practitioners and researchers and mainly like doctors who were into more of alternative methods using frequency technology. But, you know, he was introduced into another avenue where he could actually, you know, leverage the networks of people who are out there already teaching in this realm, in holistic health or in the quantum field. And so we've been able to have the opportunity to merge this into all of our businesses where we could teach and we can educate and, you know, we can really show people what this device is without us needing to have the quantum physics background. So essentially this little device uses microcurrent as a delivery carrier wave for frequencies. So we're actually able to charge ourselves. That's using the quartz. And then Helen and I have got this little adapter in our Healys right now, which is called the coil that uses scalar waves as the delivery method for frequencies. And then there's a third method, which is vibrate. So you can actually send vibrations through the information field into the bioenergetic field of a client, which means you can use it distance. They don't have to be with you in physical person. But again, you can scan the bioenergetic field of someone using the quantum sensor inside the device. It'll scan the field and it'll pick up what is out of balance, what is not in resonance right now. And then it'll recommend on your smartphone. So this is literally, you are using the device with a smartphone. So both of these things fit with your hand, right? Scan using your smartphone connected to the Healy. Up will come the program out of the 300 programs that are coded into it, what program you need, and then off you go. You set the vibrations and you roll with it. And you can do aura scans. You could do scans of your subconscious mind. So it'll pick up what's in your field that might be holding you back from attaining the desires you want to manifest. Like there's so many cool things you can do with it. And then for physical needs, right? Maybe you have pain. It's actually classified.
I brought it to the gym.
Did you?
I brought it to the gym. Yep. I was getting ready to bench press and I'm like, okay, so I went in, which one do I want out of the fitness app? And I went right into strength, more power. My trainer's just like, whoa. So I benched out 95 pounds, 5 reps.
Yes. Yeah. I love it. And that's it, right? Because I mean, one of the super cool things about Healy is that it's actually classified as a medical device. So when something's classified as a medical device, it is cleared with the highest quality standard. I don't know any other frequency technology on the market that's classified as a medical device as well. So, I mean, you've got that. You've got the fact that it actually connects with the information field. I mean, that in and of itself requires, you know, the patented technology that's inside of it to be able to connect to the field where we're all connected to send, to get and give information. I mean, that is so powerful. The fact that we've got experts like researchers, scientists, like practitioners that are all part of this board that feeds the programs into the cloud so you can have access to them. You know, these are all of the little ways that this stands out from anything else that's on the market. And it's trailblazing. People who see this and they're like, okay, this is super cool. We're really pioneering this right now. You're going to see in 3 to 5 years that way more frequency technology hits the market because we're entering an era where information technology is being used. But really those who are coming on board now really are the early adopters or the pioneers. They're like, okay, this is cool stuff. And I want this in my hands.
Yeah. I'm finding more and more people are awakening and moving more towards the natural path, homeopathy, like gearing away from the pharmaceutical industry and finding their own way of healing. And that, and I love the name Healy, right? Just for that. So I just truly believe the timing of this coming out is absolutely perfect. I do believe COVID woke up a lot of people, you know, for good reasons in that sense. And so I'm just saying the timing of it, you coming here to my home, bringing this out. I believe it was introduced to me by someone else, but at the time I just wasn't there. I wasn't fully engaged with it, whatever. But it's like the timing of it which was back in September when you came, I think that's when it was. And I like the idea of all the different programs. I didn't know that, you know, regarding the chakras. I didn't know that with the fitness, the skin, like you can do your skin, the meridians, right? I love the fact that, we can download the Bach flowers, the homeopathy. So there's just so many variations, and that you do get the protocols. Yes, you get
Yes,
protocols if
yes. So
there's
there's
certain
an
things.
app that can actually build out protocols for you. So you could type in whatever the health need is, the health goal, the health concern. You could
Yeah.
type the name of it in there, and then a protocol of exactly the programs you would need to do. So my sister, she was diagnosed with chronic Lyme disease 4 years ago now, and she was bedridden for 2 years. So she actually had to quit everything in life,
Oh,
basically, and she was in her bed for 2 straight years. And she took a complete natural approach to her healing. And last year she went into remission. Now she still struggled with some of the symptoms and the side effects of it, but it was at a manageable rate where she could get back to her life, where she finally was able, she's a screenwriter, so she writes movies, and, she was able to get back to her life and back to things, but sometimes, things would still pop up. And so I actually found the protocol for, what she had, and we just used those programs that were in it, and she was feeling like, her legs were coming back to life, and she was able to get through her days. And so,
yeah,
we were able to find things that, really worked for her. And so, and I mean, this goes with everything, right? As soon as I feel something coming on, maybe I feel my body's moving through something, I'll go in for bioenergetic support, the immunity ones, the tonsil harmony, I had to get a biopsy done on my thyroid this summer. And so I was running the thyroid harmony, and there's digital nutrition. There's 72 digital nutrition
yeah.
mixes. You've got
I'm
every,
working on the gut flora right
right?
now.
Yeah. So it's like people spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars in supplements. What if you could deliver the exact vitamin, mineral trace, like
Frequency.
the
Yeah.
element, right, into your cells, like right, deliver it directly to the cells. It doesn't need to come in bypass through the gut. It just goes directly to the cells. It's like lock and key. So there's so many cool ways that we can use this type of holistic health and this type of
Mhm.
technology, and and so it's really cool, and welcoming people into our community too. I mean, our community's freaking
Yeah.
fun.
I'm fairly new, just saying, I'm fairly new to this.
Yeah.
But I do have to share, it's kind of like a testimonial for myself. But I do have a friend who's out of the country, and she's attending a close family member's funeral. And I had introduced it to her very quickly before she had left. And I knew she was going through some really tough times, right? So I reached out to her, and I'm not going to say her name just for sake of privacy. I was just like, "What do you feel? What do you sense? Do you think would you like me to run this for you and see if we can clear whatever it is you may be going through right now?" I said, "But the thing is, you just got to be open to receive, because we did it in person, but now she's out of the country, across the pond." And so I said, "Okay, I had her picture, right? So I made sure it's an unfiltered picture. So I had her picture, had her permission, right? Because intention's everything. And I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to run your scan, and give me about 5-10 minutes, but be open to receive." So while I was doing it all, did her auras and chakras and whatever else that her body needed in that moment, I received the most pounding, sharp pain headache. Like it was like a friggin' lightning bolt in my head. I'm like, what the? I'm not going to say here, but what the is this, right? So fast forward, because we were going through WhatsApp, we are communicating through WhatsApp, and I said, "So, like, how do you feel? Was there anything that you could share with me?" And she says, "Well, you believe it or not," she said, "I had this massive headache since I woke up this morning. I don't know what you did, Helen, but it's gone." She says, I felt major shifts taking place. I feel a lot lighter, but more importantly, I feel a lot calmer."
Mm,
So there you go. And that's her across the pond, 6 hours ahead.
yeah,
Right.
because
So
the
that made
information
my day. I
field,
say, okay, there is. What's that?
I was saying the information field
You cut
doesn't.
out there.
Yeah, this is my Mexican Wi-Fi. This happens. But the information field, no time or place, right? There is no time, space, distance in the information field. It's like one
Yeah.
connected field. So it just goes to show how powerful that is. Now, I will say that because you have psychic abilities and you're very open and in tune to the other dimensions already, normally, maybe someone who isn't as primed with that wouldn't
Yeah. Yeah.
feel what the other person's feeling. And it goes to show that because you have that
Sense.
ability already, like you were tapped in.
Mhm. Yeah. I find the foundation to all of this, just like when I do my work, and I say this to all my clients, more than anything, trust, surrender, and be open to receiving. And as long as you have that as your foundation, this will definitely, definitely work in your favor. I did have someone that asked me the other day, can you do this on someone without them not knowing? Right. And I said, well, to be honest with you, I'd rather not, because I would like to have the soul's permission. I said, but if someone's like in a coma, or who knows, they're just not able to communicate, whatever that may be, you can always connect on a soul to soul level, get permission on a soul to soul level. So again, setting the intention and trusting, is it a yay or a nay that I can connect to this soul and send these frequencies to this person? So I thought it was a really good question, because that to me is very important. You don't want to, tap into somebody else's field, even on a psychic ability. I'll get people, can you tap into my ex-boyfriend? And I'm like, well, yeah, no, not really. That's not proper. That goes against the mediumship ethics. Right.
That's misusing, right?
It is. But, if I tap in, say his name, and then I'll get a feeling, do I have your permission? And I've been pushed back. I'm like, yep, nope, not doing this. Not doing it. Right. So there you go.
Well, we're so excited to see what other cool things happen. And I know that you have added this as a service to your website.
I just recently added it. I haven't been promoting it because I wanted to, first of all, I wanted to feel comfortable. I wanted to, I'm still learning. I'm still a newbie at this. And so far, every day I'm learning something new. And I'm just really, really excited, because it's still, again, it falls into the field that I'm in. And that's all about healing. Right. I've always, my youngest is 2023. So about 23 years, but I've been dabbling into so many different modalities when it comes to healing. This one, I'm super excited. It's supercharged. And so I'm offering it as a package where if you want mediumship, like a connection with a loved one for 30 minutes, and then about 15, 20 minutes of getting your aura read, and we can do it right here, take your picture right off here, have you voice in, whatever it is that you want to manifest. I use your vocal codes, and it goes right into the phone, into the app. So that frequency from your voice is going in, and then that's implemented through the programming as well. But you also have the choice to get an aura, chakra, whatever it is, by itself without having the mediumship. So you can have that as well. So you've got two choices to choose from. But anybody that's listening to this and has any questions, you can reach out to me, and I'll do my best to answer your questions and see what fits for you. So happy 36912. A lot of people don't know that Nicola Tesla also worked with the vibration frequency of number 12. So put that one out there. Yeah.
I'm learning something new every day too. It's such a process, right? We're all in the field, and that's where we're all connected. And you do this as a community, which
But you can buy the unit just for yourself, but you can also buy the unit to share with others. There is another business level aspect to this. I don't know if you want to quickly drop that part in for those who are moms at home that are looking for another way to make an income, if you want to bring that up.
Yeah, so I mean, you can absolutely have a device, like Helen said, just for you and your family, or you can actually have the same device, but choose to be able to have an affiliate link that allows you to share and educate and layer it into a business, start a business with it, and be able to actually earn a leveraged stream of income. So that is also something I do. That's, something that a beautiful group of us have come collectively together to really work on. And we're always looking at expanding that so that together we can help humanity raise the vibration of this planet, raise the frequency of this planet, and together many hands make light work.
Love it. I love it. So we're going to want to end on that note then. I want to thank you so much for coming on here, helping me to promote this beautiful, beautiful healing instrument, medical device, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's making progress. It's making progress with me. So I'm just happy to share, and I'm happy for you to come on and share. So
I love it. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we'll see you on the other side.